Hello and welcome to part 2 of our first color along in Juwelenkistje by HANNA KARLZON. It's jewelry box in, this is the Dutch edition. And in part 1 we based this page. So we did a soft pastel background and we based the jewelry with some water-based markers. So that was actually everything we did. So now we're going with pencils on top to add some extra shadows and dimension to this jewelry. I am using the Polychromos pencils, but you can use every pencil you want. The HANNA KARLZON books, the paper is very good. It takes Prismacolors, it takes Polychromos. I don't have other pencil sets, but I'm sure they will work fine. Just take a pencil set you're comfortable with and let's get going. So we based, I'm going to start with the purple gems, maybe. So in the reference picture we used, I will put it on the screen on the right corner again, so you can always see. It was like a little bit of a cooler purple, so I'm going to choose a cool purple, so maybe not too dark but not too light as well. So maybe the purple violet 136. So we're going to give this one a try. If you want to make, normally I take a pencil and I'm just trying to see if the color matches on my picture itself. If you are not comfortable to do that, just take your water-based marker you use as a base. So just do this. I will do the same one with the yellow, so that's maybe a little bit easier. Okay, so wait for it to dry. Water-based markers need a little bit of drying time, not much, maybe like 1 or 2 minutes. But otherwise, when you're going on top with a pencil, especially with an oil-based pencil, you will have denting in the paper and the blending is not going to go very well and you're going to rip the paper. So leave it a little bit, give it a time to settle, and then when you want to see if the pencil you picked is the contrast is high enough with the basing, you can always put it next to it. So you see, it is like a middle color, not too dark, not too light. And if you want to see if it blends into the water-based marker, just put a medium pressure and release. So as you see, I have quite a nice blending, so I think this pencil is going to work fine. So the purple violet 136. Okay, so I wanted to do like gold jewelry and some purple accents, so I did all the gems in purple. I like to have a very fine point on my coloring pencils because then I don't have a lot of work to cover my white spots. But you can do whatever you want. With Prismacolors, it's a little bit more difficult to keep the sharp point. So what I'm going to do, normally everyone says you have to look for a light source or everything. In this case, we don't have a light source like a sun or a candle or something. So I just pick a side where I want my shadows to be. So in this case, I'm just thinking I'm going to use the insides of every jewelry. I don't plan my videos, so this is just me thinking out loud. So in this case, I think it is pretty obvious where we have to put our shading. So we're just going to go for it. Okay, so in this case, this vertical chain is on top of this and this one. So the shading is going to be underneath this chain. So that's obvious. So this chain is going to be obvious. The gems are round. There is nothing on top of it. So I'm going to try to see where Hannah put her highlighting. So I think the black stripe in here is her highlight. So I'm going to put the shadows on the opposite. Just very softly, I'm going to give it a little bit more dimension. When you have a round object, make sure you don't put your shadows in a straight line. Just make sure you follow a little bit of the line of the gems. That's actually everything. So that's it. I'm going to do it for the 4 gems here. On this first chain. So the black, it's the highlight, I think, is going to be on this side. So we're going to take the opposites. So the shadow is going to be on the inside of this jewelry. If there wasn't like a highlighting, you can choose any side you want. Mostly I take the right side because it's easier for me because I'm right-handed. Again, the highlight is over here, so the shadow is going to be on the opposite side of the gem. So make it a little bit round. So take a medium pressure and then release so it blends into the water-based marker. Again on the opposite side and release. Here as well, we're going to do this one later. So this is actually the gems with the same principle. You don't have to do it like I do it, but I try to color in an easy way. So I don't spend 20 hours on a coloring page. So again, the opposites of the black. Okay, then for these gems, there isn't like an obvious highlight. So what I like to do is color every facet of this gem in a random order. So for this case, I am just going to start on the bottom and I will release on the top. And I will do the same things just randomly. It really doesn't matter which side you're choosing, just do it randomly. The less symmetrical you're doing it, the better. And then I'm just doing this. That's it. That's how I color gems. So I'm going to do the same thing for this gem. You can go from left to right as well. I like to color gems because there are no rules. You just have to put some color on top of it. I think it is very relaxing. And in this book, jewelry box, you have a lot of gems, so very easy. They can be in every color you want. Okay, so that's it. For this gem, the highlight is already drawn by Hannah. It is like on this side. So if you look at a picture of a round object, the darkest side is going to be on the outer side of this gem, and because the highlight is on this side, it is a little bit darker on this side and more to the middle on this side. So I'm going to try to put a picture on the screen so you know what I mean. It's not always easy for me to explain in English because normally I speak Dutch. So I know what I want to say, but it's not always easy to find the right words. So a little bit more to the center on the right side because the highlight is on the left. This isn't rocket science. You can do this much more technical than I am doing, but I just want a great result with not as much effort. Okay. So this is what I mean. A little bit on this side and more of the middle color on this side. Okay. So the other gems are the same principle. Just look where the highlight is and take the opposite sides. If it is a round obstacle, don't try to color in a straight line, but take the curve of the pearl or gem. And for this, it is the same thing, just color every facet however you want. So I'm going to do those off camera because otherwise this video is going to take too long. Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to color the gold. I don't have a color combo for gold I am using all the time. Mostly I use like a brownish color. So I just take one. I'm going to take the Van Dyke Brown 176. And mostly for the middle color I take like an ochre color or a brown ochre or something, but because we have a little bit of green in the background, I think I'm going to try to take this green gold. It's like an ochre color but with a little hint of green in it. If you don't have that, just take like a very light brown or a dark ochre or something. Just and try it out to see if the blending is going. So this is our base color for the markers, this is the middle color, and this is going to be our darker color. So that's gold, right? Yeah, I think that's okay. Okay, so this is going to be for the gold. For the gems, the purple gems, you can leave it at that. If you want to give it a little bit extra dimension, you can go in with like a very dark purple. Just again, take a cold purple. I think I'm going to take the mauve 294. And you can go in just at the base of this extra, just in the corner, to give it a little bit more extra shadowing. You don't have to do this if you're a beginner and you want to keep it with the middle color we used. It's going to be fine because we're going to white out the lines around the gems, but it gives a little bit more dimension because the background is very soft. We want to pop our objects that we are coloring, because then the contrast is going to be different and it's going to give a greater result. So you don't have to do that, but I mostly use 3 colors. Not always, depending if it is a very detailed page. I don't see the point of using 20 different pencils on a little object, the result is not worth the effort, I think. But with this, it gives you that little bit extra. If you don't have a dark purple, just take maybe a dark blue or something. Okay, and for this bigger gem, the darkest color is around the edge. So again, with the circle, with the highlighting, it's going to be just on the corners. So you don't have to do it a lot, but it gives like a little bit of dimension. I'm not somebody who blends in all the colors when I am basing with water-based markers. You can take a coloring pencil in the same shade as you based everything with your water-based marker, and then go on top of it for blending, but I'm not going to do that. I think it is fine the way it is. And if you want, you can go back with the middle colors to blend it a little bit better, but I think this is fine. So you can do that with all the rest. So the first step is the middle color, and if you like, you can go on top of it with a darker color. You don't have to do that, but you can. Okay, for the gold, we're going to take 2 colors because I think one color is not going to give us the gold effect. With the purple, you have the option. With the gold, you can, but it's not going to give you a lot of dimension. So this chain was on top of this one, so that means our shadow is going to be right here. So I'm just going to give a little bit of color on the bottom and on the top of every chain you see. I don't know, it is very visible on camera. And then what I'm maybe going to do is just take the bottom of this chain on top and just a little bit on top of that. Okay, so I did this one. Then we're going with our darker color. It's the Van Dyke Brown. Just in the corner where the chain is going on top. And a little bit on the bottom. So that's the only thing I'm going to do. So this is actually a color combo for like a very gold and old gold. If you want like a rosé gold, you can switch up the middle color. Okay, and if you think your blending isn't as nice as you want it to be, just go over it with the middle color again. You can also start with your darkest color and then go over it with your middle color. It really doesn't matter. It is a way of coloring you like to do. Maybe in this case I will start with the darkest color and then go over it with the middle color. So I think that's going to be a little bit more, yeah, I'm going to do that. I don't have a fixed coloring technique, I just wing it when I'm coloring. Okay, for this I'm going to take, when you have these curls, I'm going to take the inside of every curl. So everything that is going to the gem is going to be dark. Everything on the outside is going to be light. So for this piece, I'm going on the inside. Just a little bit of dark. And again, this is like a mirror. So you have to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, this doesn't have an inside, so I'm going to take the bottom like we did over here. It's a choice. You can always go from the top to the bottom. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so on the left side, I'm going to do the inside of the curl. And also a little bit over here, because this curl is going on top of this one, I think. If you see it differently, you can color it differently, but yeah, that's what I see. And then we're going to go right here on the inside of this curl. Okay, and same thing over here. So this is on top of this. So I'm going to color it. This is my inside, and this is also my inside of my jewelry, and this as well. Okay, so this is my inside. So once you figured out how to color a Hannah Karlzon page, she has the same jewelry or gems throughout the same book. So once you figured out how to do it, I think it is very easy and you don't have to think a lot how to color her art style. Once you figured it out, it's very easy. Very easy. Okay, and our inside is going to be, I think I'm going to do it on the bottom. Okay, and then again, this side. This is the inside, and this is also the inside. So everything on the right I'm going to color. I don't know how I am going to color this thingy. What I'm going to do is maybe I'm going to take the inside. I'm going to do the same thing. So the inside of this circle. So like this, just the inside. So this is going on top of this on top of this. I'm not going to do all those shading. I'm just going to take the inside. The result is going to be fine. Okay, so again, the same on this one. Just take the inside. You have to, I think you have to see it as not as one whole, but just as this is one thing I have to shade, this is a thing I have to shade, and then it's going to be much easier. Okay, so then we're going to take our middle color and we're just going to blend the darkest color into the yellow. And we have a nice gold, right? So you have to do the same thing on the other side. Once you figured out where you have to put your shading on this side, you have to do it on the other side, the same thing. If you want, you can put your own music in the background. Just take a playlist you like and go for it. I don't put my videos on music because they bother me when I'm looking at a color along of somebody else. The color choices are fine, but when you have to listen to it for over 2 hours, it's very repetitive. So I will give you guys a chance to put on your own playlist, or you can just follow along in silence. I like to color in silence sometimes because I have a 2-year-old son and he is like talking all the time, screaming all the time. He is discovering his voice, and sometimes I just want to have a little bit of peace and quiet, and sometimes I just watch YouTube while I'm coloring to see what everybody bought or did in the last month. A little bit depending on my mood. Oh yeah, I forgot these two. Okay. So this is going to be our gold on the left side, and you can do the same thing on the right side. Okay, so this chain, it's the same principle over here. And then this side is going to be on this side. This is actually the same principle, so just take the inside of everything you see. But we're going to color this one together because this is a little bit different. I have no idea how I am coloring the dog. Okay, so I'm going to color, I'm going to put my darks over here. Just take a side and color it. You can go on the others, the underside as well. Just, it really doesn't matter. It's not rocket science, just color and put some shading. I'm going to do this for a round object because the inside is very small, so it's not going to work. Okay, so a little bit darker over here and a little bit lighter when you're going to the middle. I have no idea how I'm coloring the dog. Am I going to color it like a real dog, or I'm debating if I'm going on the outside of the dog and make it a little bit more darker, because like a coin, this is on top of the coin, so to make it a little bit more 3D, yeah, we'll go for it. We will see. Just going around the dog. Okay, so it is actually a little bit like the dog is on top of the coin. So I actually like that, but maybe we have to do some shading as well. I think I'm going to give him a little bit of brown ears and a brown nose maybe, and a little bit around the eye. I'm debating. This is a very big area. If I'm going to leave it yellow, it's going to be very flat. I don't know. I'm going to color this one first. Like this. And this is on top of this coin, so maybe I'm going to do a little bit more shading around the heart. I'm going to take my middle color and I will see what is missing once I colored it. We need something maybe around the heart. There is no right or wrong when you are coloring, but it has to it needs something. It really doesn't matter where, but Okay, where are we missing some color? When you aren't sure, just color the things you know you want to color, and then come back and see where some color is missing. I do it all the time. So you see, this is a little bit too flat, so we have to do something. Maybe on the heart, just on this thing, a little bit of shadow over here, and over here. Okay, and then the middle color. Okay, this is better. Then the dog. Okay, what are we going to do? The dog. I think I'm going to shade, like the ear is on top of his head. I'm going to shade around the ear. I'm not sure of this, so we will see what we're going to do. Like this. Okay, and then a little bit around the eye to give it a little bit of a dimension, and maybe under his chin. Like this. And maybe something around his nose. I am just improvising. I have no idea what I'm doing. We will see if it works. Like this. Okay, it's something, right? Okay. Then the middle color. That's better. I think it has something. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so all the rest I'm going to do off camera, but first I'm still going to show you how I put my highlights into a coloring page. So the basing, these colors are pretty light, so you have a little bit of highlights and shadows, but I really like to use a white gel pen to give it a little bit more extra. I think this step is very crucial for when you're basing with markers and you don't want to always use a light base. So sometimes I take dark or medium colors to start with, and with this gel pen you can put some extra highlighting. I really think it makes a lot of difference. Okay, so this is a Uniball Signo, the Brow Tip. You can use anything, you can use any brand, you can use a Posca pen, do whatever you want. I'm just going to scribble to activate the pen. Okay, and then I'm going to try to see where my highlights are. So on the chain, it is the chain that is going on top. It is on the top because our shading is on the bottom. So I'm going to do that on every top, just a little bit, not too much. On the chains that are in the back, I'm not going to put some highlights because these are more in the front, so I'm just going to do that. If I have some pearls, I go around, or some gems or stones, I just go around this this thing, the outside lines, like this. So here I covered a lot of the darkest purple, so I'm going to add it in a little bit. I took a little bit too much away. So you can always go back in with a coloring pencil. So that's what I said, these little gems, it really doesn't matter if you use the darkest color. In this you're going to see. Okay. This gem as well. So the highlight, Hannah already drew in. I'm going to do it white as well. Like this. I'm going to cover up the black lines on this highlight of the gem. Okay, I'm not going to cover the lines on the outside because we have our black fine liner around it, so that's fine. And then the gems on the left and the right. These lines as well. So I'm just covering all the lines of the gems. The bigger the gem, the better the result, of course. So all these little things I'm not going to stand out, but because you're covering the lines, I'm going to do that with everything, because otherwise it is very weird. It's very weird to look at. For me, it doesn't matter if the black lines are showing a little bit through the white. It doesn't really bother me. But if it bothers you, just go over it a second time. Wait for it to dry and go over it again. like this. Okay. So on this gold piece, we have the inside is our darkest color. On the outside is going to be our lightest. So I'm going to put a little bit of white gel pen just on the outside of each side of this golden jewel. So just a little bit on every curl. So don't overthink this step, just take the outside. Over here as well. Like this. And you can do the same thing on the other side. So if you are looking at this gem, so this is like a weird, it's weird to look at, but when you're looking at this is nice, right? You have a great contrast, you have highlighting, you have color, it looks like gold, so it's going to be very pretty at the end. We have those black detailing we covered up. So what you can do is, you don't have to do this, it's just a preference, but you can put a little dot in the black, because jewels have a lot of detailing. So I like to put in some dots on the black as well, and here a little bit of an highlight. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to cover up all these gems or pearls, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to do the highlights on this one as well, because it is a little bit different. This is on top, so a little bit over here. No, not here, because there is a lot on top of this one. For the heart, a little bit on the outside. Like this. I'm just following the line art Hannah already gave us, so nothing more. A little bit on this side. Okay. Then again, the white dotting in the black. You can use glitter as well if you want, but I like to use a lot of white gel pen, especially in Hannah Karlzon's books. You are going to find your own style. And a little bit in the eye of the dog. Okay, a little bit on the nose, on the top of the nose, and then we're just going to wing it. So maybe just a little bit on the top of the head, a little bit over here, a little bit maybe on the ear, like this. And I think that's it. I'm not going to do a lot of white highlights on the dog, I think. Okay, so I'm going to finish up all the rest of the page off camera, and I will see you guys back to do maybe a little bit more work on the background. We will see how everything is going.